Mbuyele-ke uhlelo lwethu elimnandi ngendlela esimangaliso le Raising Babies 101 the Preschoolers Edition. Nakho-ke siniphathele kona namhlanje. Okokuqala-ke we found out more about rare disease in South Africa and give parents helpful advice on caring for a child with a rare disease. Bese-ke phela-ke sesiyathola ukuthi ama-preschoolers ethu ngabe sasemancane kakhulu yini ukuthi anga-understanda phela ukuthi kuchaza ukuthini ukuthi sonke singabantu asifani. Then later on so sesinibonisa phela ukuthi how easy peasy it is to tie your shoelace. Sanibonani nonke-ke emakhaya ngifuna nginamukele kwihlelo lethu elimnandi ngendlela esimangaliso le Raising Babies 101 the Preschoolers Edition. Igama lami-ke uLindo umfana wakaSithole. Abaningi bangazi phela ngodede kaValdo. Into esobe senza-ke kule hlelo lethu ukuthi sobe sifundisana phela ukuthi iy'ngane zethu sikhulisa kanjani. Nami futhi-ke ngilindele ukufunda okuningi nani futhi ngiyathemba ukuthi lapha emakhaya kuningi-ke enizobe nikufunda. Approximately 7,000 different types of rare diseases, disorders and more are being discovered every day. It is a fact that 1 in 10 people globally has a rare disease, which means in South Africa alone, roughly 3.6 million people are affected. Approximately 50% of these affected people are children. Also, besizake namhlanje ukuthi sixazululeke lolu daba le rare diseases. Please welcome with me Director of Research at Rare Disease South Africa, Helen Malhelba, and on Skype is Roxy Breger, mother of a child with a rare disease called congenital hyperthyroidism. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you, Lindo.
Thank you so much. I'll start with you, Dr. Helen. What are the most common rare diseases that you find in South Africa?
So some of the more common rare diseases in South Africa are things like cystic fibrosis, multiple sclerosis, albinism, even cleft lip and palate, which are some of the more obvious ones.
We've heard that 50% of people living with rare diseases are children. And is it true that 30% of those children will not live to see their 5th birthday?
Yes, sadly, this is very true. And many rare diseases are life-limiting disorders and are progressive, meaning that when symptoms arrive very early for a child and start very young and they progress rapidly, it can be quite disastrous in a sense for the child. In other cases, the rare disease might only manifest later in life, and so the experiences only come later and the symptoms.
Okay, next question. How is rare disease usually diagnosed and then treated?
So it's very much a combination of clinical diagnosis by a physician or a particular doctor, and then there's a confirmatory diagnosis, usually a genetic test, sometimes biochemical analysis of some kind. In South Africa, we do face a challenge with that confirmatory diagnosis, just due to a lack of resources, particularly infrastructure, capacity, both human and financial, which means that many of the genetic tests that we require in South Africa simply aren't available.
Okay, let me go to Roxy. Roxy, you good there?
Yes, I'm good.
Roxy, tell me, what is congenital hyperthyroidism?
So congenital hypothyroidism is basically the absence of the thyroid gland or the malfunctioning of the thyroid gland at birth. It's diagnosed via the newborn screening or via cord blood, which is taken from the baby at birth. And if undiagnosed, unfortunately, it's very severe. They grow up to, unfortunately, have physical and mental disabilities. So I was very lucky that my daughter was diagnosed at birth.
Roxy, tell me, how do you guys manage it on a daily basis?
We're very lucky, and her treatment is very, very simple. I literally give her a pill a day. It's also inexpensive. It costs 37 Rand a month, which is nothing. So we are very grateful that she was diagnosed with a disorder that is very, very treatable and very manageable. Unfortunately, though, for some rare diseases and many rare diseases, they are very expensive to manage. And I do believe that's why we need so much more support for the diagnosis of rare diseases and the management of rare diseases in South Africa.
Roxy, tell me, what support have you guys received?
I've received support via rare diseases. I think they're an amazing organization. They do so much. They're advocates for people who don't have voices, and they fight for their rights. And I think that it's organizations like this that are so needed. I also reached out to other moms and dads on Facebook because I actually joined a congenital hyperthyroidism group on Facebook. And, you know, it's a great place to chat and ask about other people's experiences. So it's been a journey, and it was a shock at first when it was diagnosed, but so far so good, and we're doing well.
What support can parents of a child with the rare disease get?
So, well, the overall aim of Rare Diseases South Africa is to ensure that every patient affected by a rare disease or a congenital disorder can access the care and the support they need to ensure an improved quality of life. And at Rare Diseases South Africa, we do that really through 4 key areas. The first being advocacy, then patient navigation, community engagement, and finally through research. Now, the aim through advocacy is to ensure that treatment and all the healthcare services that the patients need is accessible and available. Secondly, through patient navigation is to improve that process right from the very beginning when the symptoms manifest through to palliative care or end-of-life care. And then the purpose of community engagement is to provide a platform or a place where patients can connect and really meet up with other patients in the same situation, just to minimize and counter that isolation and often the stigmatization that so many patients face.
What advice can you give parents stuck and not knowing what to do with their children with rare diseases?
I think reach out to organizations such as Rare Disease. They are the people who can help you and can assist you with any resources and information that you might need. I think there is a huge lack in the government sector, in government healthcare, unfortunately. There are so many people who don't have the access that they need, that don't have the information that they need. It's one of the reasons why I came on board with Rare Disease, and I wanted to work with them further to try and just get the message out there, because I think it affects more people than we realize.
Okay, let me come back to you, Dr. Helen. What is continuous research important when it comes to rare disease?
Well, as you said in the introduction, Lindo, there are over 7,000 rare diseases that we know about that have been described so far. And for many of those rare diseases, there isn't a treatment option available. So a large part of the research is actually going towards developing, clinical options and interventions and treatments for those rare diseases. But another really important part of the research is so that we can get an accurate assessment of the scale of the problem. We know that rare diseases are individually rare, but they are collectively common. So there is a huge burden of disease affected. And in South Africa, we have an estimate of 3.6 million South Africans affected by a rare disease, but we don't know the true burden. And without that accurate estimate, we cannot develop and implement a proper and a relevant healthcare response to that.
80% of rare diseases are genetic in origin and are present throughout a person's life, even if symptoms do not immediately appear. It is important for families affected by rare diseases to know that they are not alone. Thank you, Dr. Helen. Thank you, Roxy. Ngiyathemba ukuthi kuningi ke sikufundile lapho ke emakhaya. Kodwa kubalekile phela ukuthi laba esazi ukuthi bane rare disease sibatreate kahle, singabe sesibenza ngazathi bona ngoba bayagula awamelanga ukuthi sibajabulele. Okulandelayo ke sekuyiso-ke leso sikhathi se-decoding A to Z, and today D is for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. D is for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a severe progressive form of muscular dystrophy of males that appears in early childhood and affects the use of voluntary muscles in the body and is inherited, primarily affecting boys of all ethnic backgrounds. Masibuye ekhefini-ke sobe sesikhuluma-ke ngokubaluleka kokufundisa iy'ngane zethu mayelana ne-diversity and nokuthi-ke phela asingabantu sonke-ke asifana. Sike size ukuthi bathini odazido mayelana naleli gciwane.
It's something that can make you sick. Something that makes you very, very, very sick. It's a virus full of germs in it. It disease a coronavirus. A disease, the illness.
An illness?
Yeah.
In today's Too Young for That, we try to establish that the term different means to our preschoolers and how to talk to them about people's differences. Ozobe sikhuluma naye-ke namhlanje uyena ozobe sisiza phela i-ECD teacher yethu uRex Mulife. Rex, khamba kahle ngalapho.
Hayi siyanceka mkhulu kulamakhaza lawo.
Hayi mo ngiyazi ukuthi manje kuyabanda. Asike sihlale kulo ke lolu daba. What is the right age to discuss difficult matters nezingane zethu?
Ibaluleke kakhulu ukuthi ungaqala uintroduce right from 1.5 to 3 years. Because psychologically kulo mkhakha or leso stage abantwana manje baqala bafuna ukuba independent. So it's about autonomy and shape. So at that stage, you can begin to introduce this concept of diversity, difference, and so forth. And ibaluleke kakhulu, especially given the fact that the world currently is confronted with racism. You can see there are a lot of protests globally. So kubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi abantwana sibafundise ukwamukela identity yabo nokuba tolerate towards other racial groups or other ethnical groups, so that we can coexist as humanity without seeing a color, without seeing a race, but only see humanity, because we are all human beings, belongs to one race, and that is human race. So we need to coexist.
Angicela ungitshele ukuthi ngoba siyawazi phela ama-preschoolers wethu lamancane uma bebona ke ingane babona ukuthi abafani ngesimo, usho ukuthi iba njani ke reaction yabo?
Esikucaphelisisile kakhulu abantwana abanawo lama-shock esinawo singama-adult.
Singabantu abadala.
Yeah, esinawo singabantu abadala. Because it is a skill to go about teaching uniqueness. It is a skill about teaching diversity. For example, one may use stories, rhymes, and songs, to teach diversity. And then now, in the manner in which you prepare your activities in the classroom, those activities must also reflect diversity, whether be it in culture, whether be it in any other, sphere of life. So they can be, incorporated activities. And then while they're playing in these activities, they are enjoying children. And then they have not expressed any shock. Children, they don't have anything about seeing other people as different. In fact, it is us as adults who teach these children that is black, that is yellow, that is pink. And then that it is, a sociological fallacy and anthropological fallacy.
Hayi ngikuzwa kahle baba Mlifi. Ngisacela ungitshele abazali bangayigwema kanjani ke ukuthi phela izingane zethu zi-understand kangcono iyiphi indlela omele sikhulume ngazo, noma ngithi ama-terms omele ukuthi sikhulume ngazo ukuthi phela izingane zazi ukuthi kahle sonke singabantu siyafana.
Ngibonga kakhulu mkhulu, mbuzo obaluleke kakhulu lo, because experience ngitshela ukuthi abantwana they learn from the environment. Environment being an immediate environment and other environment. Immediate environment is a family setup. Kubalulekile ukuthi singabazali in our houses, in our family setup, sikhulume i-message right. In other words, I will appeal to the parents in the family setup to embrace what I call transformational vocabulary. In other words, in their vocabulary, only empowering words that should exist. Because if you keep on uttering words that are of hate, words that are segregatory in nature, words that seek to exclude, words that are discriminatory, you are planting that seed to your child. And the child, when he goes to the society, interact with others, he has already developed a perception to say this person is not like me, therefore this person must be discriminated. So parental involvement is critical. It is in that level at the family setup where we must be mindful of what we are saying.
Ngiyabonga ke Mr Mlifi. Ngiyathemba ukuthi ke nababukeli bethu kuningi abakufundile nami ke futhi kuningi engikufundile. Ube nosuku oluhle ke lapho bode. Ngibonge kakhulu ke ngiyathemba ukuthi nani lapha emakhaya kuningi engikufundile ngoba nami namhlanje ngoba ngikhuluma no Mr Mlifi nje sengifundile phela ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi sithole indlela esikhuluma ngazo mayelana nezingane ukuthi sizo understanda kahle kahle zingathi masibona enye ingane ngazathi inhlobo engafani then zitreat ngendlela engalungile. Kubalekile ukuthi singabazali siqhuquzele izingane zethu. Sibonge. Actively look for circles opens that creates opportunity for you to talk about diversity. Don't ignore disabilities. Pretending they are not noticeable is a disservice to both those with disabilities and your child. Build a habit of seeking out media that reflects the diversity of the world. It will be good for you and your child. Africa is a very diverse country, people with different skin colors, different abilities, different backgrounds, different economy. Ngoba siyazi ke phela ukuthi kwezomnotho futhi nakhona sihlukile kakhulu. Kodwa kubalekile ukuthi ke sifundise phela ama preschoolers wethu ukuthi ke singabantu ke sonke siyafana. It never overrules the things that makes us all the same. We all humans and we should all treat each other with kindness and respect. Okuzayo ke manje niyazi sokuyiso leso sikhathi lesi simnandi la phela for nina abantu abasemakhaya you stand a chance to win yourself a 200 rand shopping voucher. Umbuzo uthi ngwina kanjani tete? Buza mina ngitshele wena wina kalula ke nje. Sithi true or false there are over 7,000 rare diseases. Into ozokufanele uyenze ukuthi ufake ke umbono wakho ke lapha ku Facebook page yethu kungenzeka kube wena oziwinela ke lo mklomelo. Okwamanje sike siza ukuthi bathini ke odado?
The friend will be sicker. The friend will be sicker, and I won't. Mackenzie. So between me and my friend, I love Mackenzie. She's my best friend.
Is it? Okay.
She swings on the baby swing, and I swing on the big swing.
Why? Why?
Just because I'm a big girl. That we have the same size together.
You guys are the same size?
Yeah, and we always go to school together. I love running, and my friend love to be quiet.
Ngiphinde nginamukeleke futhi kwihlelo lethu elimnanga ngendlela esimangaliso le Raising Babies 101 the Preschoolers Edition. Manje ngizobe senginifundisa phela ukuthi how easy peasy it is to tie your shoelaces. Ngiyazi ke nami ngisasemncane ukuthi hey beyinokunginika inkinga sizoyiqala kanje nake. Uyayithatha ke intambo yakho le ufaka ngapha nangapha. Uyafaka uyadonsa. Uphinde ufake uphinde udonsa. Mosuka lana ke into yenza uyabenza uyayicrossa kube ngazathi wenza uX. Uyabona ke? Then manje uthatha le oyisuse ngapha ngaka left uyifaka ngaka right. Uyifaka kweso sigudli. Suke le uphinde ingene futhi ngapha. Suke ke lapho siyaphinda futhi siyangena futhi. Masingena ngapha siphinde siyabuyela ngale ngaka left. Siyangena. Into esenza ukwenzani ukuthi phela siyaphambana nje kanje senza ini? Senza uX. Siyafaka ngapha, phinde futhi ufake la ngapha, phinde futhi izosiza ke ngiyathemba ukuthi odado babukele ngoba phela ngiyabazi ukuthi uma sephuma ebreakini esikoleni bayahluleka. Mawusuka ke lapho ke sesiyayicrossa ke. Ubopha ini ifindo. Ushaya ifindo lakho, udonse, modonsa uyabona ukuthi kuba yini? Kuba uncantathu. Moqeda lapho wenzani ke? So wenza amadlebe. Wenza amadlebe. Mwenza amadlebe ufaka lenye ke kade ungakayenza amadlebe uyifake phakathi nendawo phela ukuthi kuzoba yini amadlebe amangaki amabili nazo ke niyabona ke ngiyathemba ukuthi lapha emakhaya odado benu sebakwazi ukuyifasa ngoba mina owami umfana hayi mangithi ayifasa amashulesi hayi wenza 1 2 1 2 nani nizibonela ukuthi how easy peasy it is ukwenza ke phela ukufasa amashulesi.
I do not know. That's more I am beautiful.
What is that?
I don't know. Racism with someone judging you because of your skin color.
Siyazi ukuthi ama-preschoolers wethu ahlakaniphe kakhulu phela singabantu abadala ngeke size silunge kodwa-ke namhlanje angihambi ngedwa ngihamba noLorcia Khumalo, an actress dancer futhi-ke umama-ke phela wey'ngane zakhe ey'mbili ezinhle kakhulu. Sawubona Lorcia, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. Please tell me, how do you juggle being a mom and being an actress and being a dancer? Because I know it's hectic.
I mean, it is hectic, yes, but I think all moms are faced with that challenge. All moms right now are faced with providing for their kids, juggling this career, and then juggling being the mom of the house, you know? They say that a man makes the house, but the woman makes the home. So I think it's not a problem that's unique to me as an entertainer, as an artist. I think moms struggle with this all the time. There's some moms who don't see their kids all day. They leave before the kid goes to school and they come back when the kid's about to go to bed. So, I mean, for me, that's even harder than what I have to experience because I have a freelance career. So I have the time. I have a week off here or I wrap early on a certain day and I get to spend that quality time with my kids. So for moms who have, you know, 12-hour jobs or 9 to 5s, it's even more difficult and more challenging. I think you've got to decide what's your hierarchy of importance. For me, the hierarchy is very simple. Some people value their careers first, other people value an extramural or a sports activity first. For me, my hierarchy is very simple. It's God, then it's my family, and then it's my career. And I know that my career is a means to an end and it contributes to my family and the well-being of my family, but you can never ever buy back the time that has passed. Today, we can never buy back. So for me, it's important to also know that, you know, my family is what comes before my career for me. So, for example, I've sacrificed traveling. I no longer travel as much as I used to for my job so that I can have more time with my kids.
Lorcia, I believe that even our viewers at home have learned quite a lot in this conversation. But before you leave, we've got a game challenge that I just want to feel that are you a strong woman? So what's going to happen is inside this box, there's a task. And I also don't know what's inside, what's the task about. So we're going to open it and then we're going to have 30 seconds, right? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Our 30 seconds starts now. Lorcia, no cheating, no cheating, no cheating,
cheating,
no cheating. Yeah.
No one's cheating.
That's obvious.
Taibo, shame. You're losing. And ties. Boom. Read instructions. Lace and tie the school shoe. Donkey. Buy a donkey.
You got me right there.
Yes.
I didn't read it properly. Oh my gosh, I just so laced. Oh, Papa, just great chatting to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bluetooth high five. Thank you all for watching today, and please keep on sharing your stories on our social media page. We love hearing from you guys. Okulandelayo ukuthi niyangazi ukuthi ngizophinde nginibone futhi ngeliviki elizayo, kodwa namhlanje ngijabulanga ngoba phela ngiwinanga.